English with Mr. C.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, hey, it's Mr. C. I'm back again. Now we're doing prepositional phrases today. That's how we make sentences longer. I was going to try to put prepositional phrases and conjunctional phrases together, or conjunctions together. But prepositions is going to take us some more time to explain and to practice and go into. So let's just make this lesson, lesson 5, all about prepositions and prepositional phrases. And at the very end, we'll talk about adverbs, which are very confusing. Sometimes they can be prepositions, sometimes not. It depends on the way you write the sentence. So let's do short prepositional phrases. We're going to learn 4 kinds of pronouns. We already know subjective pronouns. They start the phrase, I am happy, she is sad, and we will now learn 3 more, possessive, objective, and demonstrative. Possessive means it belongs to someone. The noun belongs to someone. Objective is the action goes to the pronoun. And demonstrative means it points to something to make sure you understand which one it is. Demonstrative, like demonstrate. And then at the very end of our lesson, we're going to talk a little bit about adverbs because they're so confusing. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. Prepositions. Okay, we're going to cover some new territory today. We're going to start talking about prepositions. Later we'll talk about conjunctions, and we're going to make our sentences longer. Now, when we do prepositions, let's first cover some new verbs because we need verbs to make full sentences, and then we're going to extend our sentences with prepositions. Let's start with these words, these verbs first. Ready? Okay, so we have walk and talk and go. We're going to add those 3 new verbs, and so we can say walk and talk in present tense. As S verbs, of course, we can say walks and talks. We already know how to say feels, and we do past tense, walk and talk and go, walked, talked, and went. Now notice went is irregular, and it's not goed, it's went. Very confusing for many students. Felt is also irregular, and it's also confusing. Here are some rhymes. Now when we use rhymes, we talk about words that sound almost the same. They're not exactly the same, they sound similar. So walk and talk are rhymes. If you say them in past tense, walked and talked, they're still rhymes. And then other words like rocked and locked also have a 1-syllable sound. You have a silent E when you have a K sound in past tense. The K sound in the past tense makes the E silent here. You don't say rocked, locked, or walked, talked. It's walked, talked, 1 syllable. Went, of course, is 1 syllable. And so synonyms also we'll talk about. They are the same meaning. So walk and go are very similar in meaning. So we're going to use those 3 new verbs to make longer phrases, longer sentences. Let's move over here. Let's talk about prepositions. I used a square this time. Sometimes I use a tree or a cloud to show location. I'll show a dot or a bird somewhere inside, outside, around an object. In this case, we're just going to use a square. So you see that all the different prepositions tell us where something is happening. Many of these words we'll see later as adverbs, such as before and through. We'll see many of those later on as adverbs. For now, we're going to use them as prepositions. We see preposition, pronoun going together. These kinds of pronouns are objective. Let's go back to our pronoun poster. Remember we started with subjective pronouns, beginning a phrase, but now we're going to receive action. We're going to give action to the preposition, to the pronoun, action to the pronoun. So it will be the last word in the phrase. Let's try it over here. So we see preposition with or to or around, and then objective pronoun, me, it, you, them, him, her, us. If you say us, and if you say a group of people that includes you, that's us. But if it's other people, not you, it's them. A girl or a boy receive action, him or her. Me is like I, but you don't say talk to I or my. It's me. Me receives the action. It and you are both subjective pronouns and objective pronouns. Later we'll see that her is both an objective pronoun and a possessive pronoun. So we got three pronouns that do double duty in different pronoun groups. We're going to use our phrase here. So he walked with me. She talked to you. We went around them. That's just two words in the prepositional phrase. Now let's add a noun to the phrase. So here we have three kinds of words: preposition, pronoun, and noun. Let's review our pronouns very quickly. So we started off with subjective pronouns. They usually start a sentence. That's why we use them first. Now we're also going to talk about objective pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, and possessive pronouns. Let's go over here and talk about them now. We're going to say preposition, pronoun, noun to make our phrase longer. So when we talk about possessive, we're talking about things that belong to people, such as her money, or his bed, or our books. We have to put an S on books to make it plural. It could be our book. Our books, if it's plural, put an S on it. So now we're going to use the verb to be. Remember, with verb to be, we add an ing to the verb. Am, is, are, was, were, and then the verb with ing. Sometimes you take off the e before ing, but not with these. So we're going to say are talking, they were talking, I am going. Now let's put those with phrases to make them longer. So we say, I am going to our supermarket. So you would say our supermarket. I am going to our supermarket. When we use a possessive pronoun, we're going to need a noun. So we would say our bike, my hand, his umbrella, your dog. And when we use a preposition, we're going to make a prepositional phrase. In my house. With your hand. They were talking at their house. At their house. They were talking at their house. Then you would say, you are walking with your umbrella or with your dog. Now let's try I am again. I am going on my bike. I'm not going to drive my car. They were talking with their hands. You are walking with your dog. And for it's not the same as apostrophe s, like it's a good day or it's time to go home. There's no apostrophe. Let's put dog in this sentence and say, dog bites its food or chews its food. So the food belongs to the dog. It's food. Dog's food, it's food. Okay, let's cover one more group of pronouns called demonstrative pronouns. And when we do it, let's also learn some new adjectives. Always learning new vocabulary. So for demonstrative, that's hard to say. Demonstrative pronouns, we have this, that, these, and those. So let's do some new adjectives and demonstrative pronouns. Remember when we did our pronouns, we had subjective, and then objective, and then demonstrative, and possessive. Now we know 4 kinds. After this lesson, we'll have 4 kinds of pronouns. And we've been doing adjectives already. Let's learn some new ones. Look at that word on the right, synonym. Remember what it means. It is similar meaning or same meaning. So these are all adjectives. So we'll say horrified and scared. Those are synonyms. Little and small are synonyms. And pretty and beautiful are synonyms. They're all adjectives and they have the same meaning. So we're going to use 4 other adjectives to make longer sentences with demonstrative pronouns. Let's use the adjectives soft, busy, old, and lazy. None of those are synonyms. So we already have our sentences that we began with the verbs go, going, went, talked, walk, walking, walked, went, and we'll use verb to be was in this time. So let's say I was going to that busy supermarket. Busy supermarket. He went to those soft beds. Now for beds, it's plural. Let's put an S on beds. Soft beds, more than one, because those is plural. This and that are singular. We can also say you walked to that old house, to that house, that old house. And if we want to make it plural, let's do that. Take away that, put these. We can still say old, but now we need to put an S if we have more than one. These old houses, or the other plural is those old houses. Let's change another one. We'll say you walked with that lazy dog. With that dog, with that lazy dog. Let's make it plural. Take away that and put those. Those. You walked with those lazy dogs. Those is plural. Dogs must have an S if it's plural. All right, one more thing. Let's try some adverbs. There's so many different kinds of adverbs, they're very confusing. Let's do just a few for now. Ready? Go. We're going to look at another way that we can put words into groups. It's called opposites. Examples of opposites are like boy, girl, man, woman. Those are opposites. So prepositions and adverbs can be opposites also, like on and off, before and after, front, back, down, up, in, out, over, under. These are all opposites, and depending on the way you use them in a sentence, they can be either preposition or adverb. Let's look at some examples here. So these are the same sentences we were doing earlier. She talked, he went, they walked. Each of these can be a sentence by itself. So now let's look at the difference between adverbs and prepositions as we make the sentences longer. So let's just start with the short additions to the sentences. So these are all adverbs. Adverbs. So start with she talked first. How about he went last? And then for walked, they walked quickly. They walked quickly. And look at quickly, it has ly. A lot of adverbs have ly on the end. So for they talked, for she talked, we say she talked outside. She talked outside. Let's make it longer though, a prepositional phrase. She talked outside the house. Okay? They walked. Let's say they walked around. They walked around. But a prepositional phrase, make it longer. They walked around the city. Now what we see with these two sentences, what's happening is that whenever we have an object, it becomes a prepositional phrase, object of the verb. Where did she talk? Outside the house. And the house is the object of outside. And in this sentence, they walked around the city. This tells where. There's an object for this preposition. It becomes a preposition when there's an object. Let's do another one. He went inside. Inside tells where he went, so it's an adverb. If we change it to a prepositional phrase, he went inside the room, we have an object. And that makes it a prepositional phrase. So let's change those. We can link different prepositional phrases together. Let's see how they look. So, she talked to her teacher at school. You can say she talked to her teacher, that's a sentence, but we're going to give more information. She talked to her teacher at school. For they walked, Where did they walk? They walked to the party. That can be a sentence by itself, but we want more information. They walked to the party with friends. They walked to the party with friends. Let's do another one. He went, where did he go? He went up the stairs. That can be a sentence by itself, but we want more information. So he went up the stairs to the office. We can make longer and longer sentences by putting prepositional phrases together. All right, what do you think? That's very confusing stuff. Adverbs are always going to be something we practice and learn how to use better in sentences, how they change from not a preposition to this time it's an adverb. Same word, but a different use of the word. So now we're going to go into conjunctions and learn how to really get some big sentences going on. But of course, we're always practicing vocabulary. Don't stop learning new vocabulary groups. See you next time.
English with Mr. C.